As a matter of fact, one of the things we're forecasting as well in the Summer Trends Journal, we're writing it as though you're in the year 2012, and we're looking back, and there's a new third party that's making a real run. And people are ready to listen. They know that we have a one-headed two-party system, and they are looking for new directions that really look out for embrace things like the Constitution, little things like that. And there's going to be a huge movement. And just as they tried to downplay the Tea Parties and the protests, the tax protests, history was made, and we're going to see more of it.
All right, let's go to John in Florida. John, you're on the line.
Hello, Mr. Celente. I asked you a question back in January. You did with Bob Chapman, Mr. Chapman. You did an interview there on a different network, but it was about my father buying a sailboat, and you gave advice, and that was the best thing I think that ever happened, because it gave my father, who was born in 1936 in the Bronx. I think you were also born there.
Yep.
And it gave my father a whole new, and he's got like a whole new. He's like 10 years younger now.
Oh, great! I remember that.
Yeah, and that was, and I've been helping him, but it's really, he's always wanted that, and it was great, and I appreciate that, and I thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
All right, looks like another satisfied customer, Mr. Celente. Let's go to Danny in New York. Danny, you're on the line.
Yes, I was hearing you talk about the trends inside of colleges and that they're going to be folding up and stuff. I just started a career studying in computer network systems. How does that look for the future as to keep to actually make a living on it and not have to worry about suffering from day to day or paycheck to paycheck?
All right, Danny, hold on. We'll go to your question right now. What do you think? I think that's actually a good place to be in. Information technologies, computers, as long as you stay up with the latest hardware and software, that's going to be around for a while, right?
Oh, yeah. And by the way, everything we have now on the small screen computer is going to be on the widescreen TV. The convergence is going to happen within a few years. And also, by the way, anything with cybersecurity, huge business, because the whole security business down the line, from bodyguards to bulletproof cars to security systems, you name it, but cybersecurity as well. So that's a good field to be in. Those are the kind of things that are going to bring a return on investment.
Exactly. That's the kind of hands-on stuff that is always going to have a job. I mean, I'm doing some side work right now as an IT guy, and it pays very well. And, I never graduated from any school. I just have been around the industry. I was in the print industry for a while, geeked out on computers, still am. Technology is always something that you want to be in, and as long as you keep up with the trends, I guess, you could say, on what is hot, what software is being used, how this hardware operates, I think that is a pretty good field to not only go in, but stay in. Let's go to Brian in New York. Brian, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason, I'm deaf now. I don't know what happened. But I was just curious about the audit the Fed, this nonsense. Mm-hmm. How do you audit something that doesn't keep books? And who's going to...
Well, that's going to be the point. Let's see what kind of books they have kept, if any. And now it has over 200 sponsors. I think it's 207 sponsors. That's the latest number. Go ahead.
But seriously, I mean, these guys don't...
Let me ask Mr. Celente. He might more. I appreciate the call. He might know more about this than me. H.R. 1207, Ron Paul's bill, now being sponsored by over 200 people, apparently 207, I think, to audit the Fed. Are there books they can actually audit? How will this go down if it's approved?
Well, we don't think it will be approved, and if it is approved, it'll be a whitewash. So it's not going to make any difference.
But don't you think
they'll give them what they want to give them?
But isn't it good, just in essence, to do this sort of thing, to show that there is no transparency?
No, because it's way above what most people could comprehend. The average person has no idea. To them, the Federal Reserve is a part of the government or quasi part of the government. Mm-hmm. It's the kind of thing that people like us care about, the informed people, but for the average person, they could care less. But don't you
think that's because the media doesn't cover it all?
Well,
I haven't heard anybody cover it. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, I mean, what does the media cover? They love plane crashes and storms and what Britney Spears is doing. Yeah. The sexy teacher stories, they're always good.
There's plenty of sexy teacher stories out there these days. God, it never ends, doesn't it? It's like, stop touching the kids. Somebody please just stop. All right, let's go to AZ Racer in Arizona. What's up, man?
Hey, Jason.
Yes.
I want to ask Mr. Celente a question. Okay, what gives the government the right to take General Motors over just because they declared bankruptcy? If a regular person declares bankruptcy, doesn't that give them a chance to pay their creditors and keep the company going? And does that mean, like, if you declare bankruptcy, they own 60% of you? And that, for the second part of my question, I make a living from the car industry every day, but the cars that I'm fixing are 50 and 60 years old. So I want to differ with his opinion that the Americans can't make good cars. We taught the world how to make cars. Toyota copied everything off of GM's business plan. When my father grew up in Detroit, the doctors and the lawyers had Cadillacs.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let me answer that.
Wait a minute. I want to finish, please.
Okay.
The preachers had a Buick, and the working man had a Chevrolet. And the way that you climbed the ladder was that you hoped someday you would make enough money to own a Cadillac and to own your own home. Now, this dream is being stolen from the people who are 40, 45 years old because of the fact that the people who are 70 has screwed everything up for us. We got the carrot dangled when we were 18, 20 years old. They said, someday it's going to be your turn.
All right, man, we got to go to break. We're going to have Celente answer that on the other side. It's trendsresearch.com. We are back. Final segment with Gerald Celente. And I don't think we're making the argument that we once didn't make, great automobiles, but we no longer really do, and we no longer can keep them in the market. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, what do you think about that last call?
Exactly what you said. I mean, this isn't the 1950s and Eisenhower isn't president. My father, may rest in peace, had a 1957 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. And it was a real car, not like these stupid things that they built. Remember the Cimarron, what they did to the Cadillac with that one? No, they've been building. Everybody knew what they were doing. They were making cars that they could get the most profit from. And there was this great quote by the vice chairman, I believe his name was Lutz, from General Motors in 2005. We wrote about it. And he said, to paraphrase, anyone that thinks high gasoline prices are going to hurt SUV sales doesn't know what they're talking about. So I mean, they got what they deserve, and it's both it's both management and labor. They were producing the wrong cars. It wasn't those people who were buying cars, but we were undercut by unfair competition. So why should we bail out these companies? Who are they? I mean, this is America. You rise and fall on your own strengths, and this whole mantra of too big to fail has cut out the entrepreneur out of the system.
All right, let's go to Chris in Iowa. Chris, you're on the line.
By the way, you guys, I'm a big fan of both of you and Eric. Alex, I listen to him all the time. My question would be, I have a 401k and I have money in the stock market, and I hear everything, and I guess my question would be, should I just bail on the stock market, and what should I do? It's a simple question.
We can't tell you what to do. We don't give investment advice. There's a story, I think it was in the March edition of Forbes when they had their billionaires issue, and they did a preview on my assistant, Laura Martin, who worked for a company, a financial sector company that went belly up, and she cashed out of her 401ks in September of 2008. And everyone of her colleagues thought she was crazy and overreacting. And she put it entirely into gold. And her profits now, I believe, are up about 25%. So to me, the markets are much too risky. But again, we cannot say what to do or how to do it. We're only saying what we do.
What I tell people is, when I started listening to Alex Jones, when I first became aware of the Patriot movement and all this subject matter, they were selling gold for around, $275 to $330 an ounce. 6 years later, just 6 years later, we're at a point where at its low, it's at $880, and at its high, it's at $1,000. to me, there are no other investments out there that I can think of that tripled in value, and even if that's not literal value, because the dollar has dropped so much in the last 6 years, there's no other investment that would do that for you in my eyes. Can you think of one?
Well, also, now you're seeing, I forgot which insurance company, Northwestern or one of those, they announced that they had, $200 million in gold. For the first time in 100-something years, they started buying gold. So, to me, gold is a low risk. Where's it going to go, back to 500? Well, let's say it goes back to 500. Hey, better than owning that Citigroup. Hey, how about some Lehman stock?
Exactly. And it seems like gold is disappearing everywhere. In fact, I got a story right here. Tories calling Mounties over mints missing millions. Gerald, thank you so much for joining us. Trendsresearch.com is the website. Anything you want to leave on?
Well, yeah, prepare for the future and don't buy the lines that they're putting out there. There are no green shoots of prosperity. It's a myth.
Thank you so much. We'll be back after this. It's the Info Warrior.